Alright, so little update. Same day. That's 1:30 in the morning. Bumper is back on. I didn't film it. I hate doing this bumper. It's got me a little salty. I had to do this job out in Colorado working in a parking lot. That bolt, that was busted off in there. I worked on it for over an hour trying to tap it out. It's a grade 8 bolt. It wasn't going nowhere, so, rule of thumb is, if you can't fix it with zip ties, you're not using enough zip ties. So, I put the other 3 bolts in, one in front of it, the other 2 sides. Got that all done. Got the headlights in, or the parking lights I should say. The new ones down below for the fog. Got the covers back on, which wasn't too visible in the last video. All the attachment bolts underneath, all the fasteners, all the plastic clips back into place, all the lines clipped back into place. The end links are cinched up. Just kind of the basic stuff. Still gotta put the other bracket in. I'm gonna do that and call it a night. Yeah, underneath this plastic shield, I know I was talking about the 4 studs, the 4 bolts. I can't remember if I had 4. I found 3 when I was putting it back together. And, yeah. But remember that extra bolt that I was showing you? That, I had one like that and then the broken off one. Well, this is something else. This is from the AIR pump tube that connects up to this little bracket there. So this is not the same one. But I used the 3 new bolts that I got to put in the splash guard, the radiator splash guard. Got the zip tied one for the busted off one. And I actually used that extra one that I had to size up to get those new ones for the additional bolt that was below here, which fit. And it was the same 10 millimeter, so that worked out. I kind of cleaned the place up a little bit because I'm starting to lose track of where everything's at. It's getting a little confusing after taking 5-6 days off, but I still know I've got my what do you call it? Shock bolts, front, back, upper control arm, bottom stud. All the studs are and the frames are up here to go into the tops. I did not buy a longer thread for that when I was at Lowe's today, unfortunately. But like I said, I did get new header bolts. As long as they go in, these will go in the trash. I don't need this bracket anymore, but I do need the bolts for the new bracket for the header that comes with. It's a little bit different of a bracket. Yeah, everything else is pretty cinched up. I'm gonna double check a couple of these bolts, motor mounts and everything. I already double checked the bushing bolts. Oh lordy. I guess I gotta double check the ABS bolts. But yeah, I just don't want to forget anything at this point. It's everything's kind of running together at this point. So I'm gonna finish up. I double checked the radiator mounts and everything. We're doing good. A little bit at a time. Oh, speaking of the lights, I mean, you saw kind of the parking lights, but yeah, I got parking lights. I got the HIDs, That one needs to be cleaned a little bit. That's the original headlight. It's getting a little foggy. That's a new one that was put on during after the accident that I had up in Colorado. And we got, oh my God, look at how bright these son of bitches are. I mean, those are actual headlights in my fog lights. So they're quite bright. I mean, even looking at the wall, you could, I mean, that's a substantial amount of brightness right there on the fog lights. So that's pretty awesome. But I'm not going to show myself putting in the other radiator mount. We'll start again tomorrow. And I'll put in the driver's side front shock. And I'm hoping to start putting in the exhaust, putting in the hangers and the muffler, some other things. I don't know if I showed this before or not, but also got the block plate on with the bolts, same bolts that I used for the stripped one underneath on that rock shield. Got my gasket on there, and that's bolted up, so that way when it comes time, we'll just throw this header in once I get the O2 sensor. So that's another thing I'll probably do tomorrow is take the oil filter off and wrestle with the clip. So until then, you guys have a good night, and I'm gonna pass out pretty soon. So what a night. A little bit of a ball buster with the bumper, but need it to be secure, and especially the rock shield if you're going to be doing 100 plus miles an hour on the track. I don't want the wind taking it. That piece of plastic underneath is around $300. It's not a cheap part. I know, I had to buy a new one back in the day. So you guys take care, and we'll see you tomorrow.